Guys, good morning all. Today we are going to discuss the paired RDD. So in the previous session, we have already seen the different operations that we are implemented on top of the Spark RDD. That is either transformation and action. Okay. Now we'll see what are the different operations we are implementing on top of the pair RDD. So coming to transformation, we have already seen different type of transformation. For example, reduce by key, group by key, map value, keys, values, sort by keys and all. Let's try to understand what are those meaning, and after implementing those transformation, what are the output we are getting. Okay, why we are using those kind of transformation. Now let's try to understand. The first one is reduce by key. So it is combine the value with the same key. Now coming to group by key, group value with the same key. Now map value, apply a function to each value of a pair RDD without changing the keys. Now keys, return a RDD of just the key. Now values, return an RDD of just the value. Now sort by key, return an RDD sorted by the key. Now let's try to see the implementation part. Okay, now coming to implementation part, you can see the first example is by using the reduce by key. What is happening here? So I have taken a list of tuple, you can see. So customer 1 10,000, customer 2 20,000, customer 3 30,000, customer 1 40,000. Now as I am implementing reduce by key, as you know, what does it mean? What will do exactly? It will just do the sum it up based upon the same key. Now you can see I have 2 customer 1. Yes or no? So the value will be sum it up. 40,000 plus 10,000, that will be 50,000. Getting my point? Now coming to customer 2, it will be 20,000, and customer 3, it will be 30,000. Right? But based upon the same key, customer 1 and customer 1, the value will be added up. That is 40,000 plus 10,000, that is 50,000 and so on. Getting my point? That is called lambda function x comma y colon x plus y. Okay? Now coming to group by key. So here what happens? Based upon the same key, the value will be grouped together. Now you can see customer 1, customer 2, customer 3 and customer 1. Now customer 1, based upon the customer 1, the value will be grouped, that is 10,000 and 40,000, right? They are grouping into a list. Now customer 2 and customer 3 are present in a different. Okay. Now that is the difference between group by key and reduce by key. Reduce by key, what happens? Just sum it up the value. 10,000 plus 40,000, that is 50,000. But in case of group by key, I'm not sum it up the value. I'm just grouping the value into a single place. That is the only difference. Now coming to key. Okay, now coming to key. How to find the keys from a group of elements? Now you can see I've taken a list of tuple. Okay. Item 1 10,000, item 2 20,000, item 3 30,000 and all. Now I want to find the keys. So keys here is item 1, item 2, item 3. How to get that? If I use the keys, I created the RDD. How to create the RDD? I created the object for the Spark context. On top of that, I'm calling the parallelize function. Then I'm passing the list of tuple. Then on top of the RDD, I'm calling that keys function. Then I'm able to get all the keys. Now I'm applying the transformation, that is called collect, action, that is called collect. Then I'm able to see all the key. Similarly, is it possible that I can get all the value? Yes, instead of key, just use the value, that's all. The rest of the things are same. Just instead of key, I'm using the value. So that it will give me the values of each and every items. That is 10,000, 20,000 and 30,000. Getting my point, guys? Now you can see, sort by key. Here, based upon the key only, I am sorting. As you know, alphabetical order. First A will come, then B will come, then C will come, something like that. So here the keys are Z, X and Y. So who will come first? X, obviously. After that Y will come, then Z will come. So based upon that we will sort it out. You can see now X, 30,000, Y, 20,000, then Z, 10,000. Why? Because I am sorting based upon the key, not based upon the value. Getting my point? Yes. Now, sir, is it possible that I can get the minimum value from a list? Yes, happily you can get it by using a min function. Simply, just take that list. On top of that, I'm creating the RDD, that is called etc parallelized. I'm passing that list. Then I'm implementing that RDD.min. Min means minimum value. What is the value it's giving? 1,000. Why? Because 1,000 is the minimum value in that list. For example, sir, is it possible that I can get the maximum value? Yes, possible. Just call the max. I'm calling a max function on top of that RDD. That is called 4000. Getting my point? Similarly, let's jump into the new concept called collision repartition. Guys, this is a $1 billion question. Definitely face this question in the interview. They will ask definitely, what is the difference between collision and repartition? So guys, if you want to decrease the number of partition, you have to use the colliers. Sir, is it possible I can increase the number of partition by using colliers? No, not possible. Then sir, if I want to increase the number of partition, how can I do that? By using repartition. Using repartition, you can either increase or decrease the partition. That is the beauty of repartition over the colliers. Getting my point? Now you can see sparks get into partition and execute computation on the partition in parallel. Now the colliers method reduce the number of partition. It will increase the number of partition with colliers, but it won't work actually. It will not throw any error, but it will not work. But repartition method can be used to either increase or decrease the number of partition. You can see the example I am showing you by using the colliers. So I have taken a list called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to divide by using the gloom function into 3 different partitions. For example, first partition contains 1, second partition contains 2, 3, third partition contains 4, 5. Yes, clear? Now I am calling colliers function, colliers of 1. What happens? It will just decrease the number of partitions from 3 to 1. So you can see I have created only one partition which contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all. Initially the number of partition was 3. Later on the number of partition becomes 1. That's all. Now, sir, I want to increase the number of partition by using colliers function. You can see number of partition initially it was 3. If I'm using colliers of 5, but still the number of partition will not increase. It is remain same the 3. Why? Because by using colliers function, you cannot increase the number of partition first of all. Right? Now, then how to achieve that? By using repartition. You can see. By using repartition, initially I have created a 4 number of partition. Yes or no? First partition contains 1. Second partition contains 2, 3. Third partition contains 4, 5. Fourth partition contains 6, 7. Getting my point? Now, by using a repartition, I am trying to reduce the partition from number of 4 to 2. Reduce partition is equal to 2. Now after that, by using repartition, I will increase the number of partition from 2 to 10. You can see now increased partition is 10. So initially it was 4. Now I reduce to 2. Then from 2 I increase to 10. That's all. It's possible by using the repartition. But that is not possible by using the colliers function. Are you getting my point? Yes. That is the beauty of repartition over the colliers. Now you can see guys here. What happens? I am trying to find the number of partitions. For example, I have taken a list which contains the value starting from 1 up to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am to see how many number of partitions I am going to create. So here I am using the local of 2. You can see the 2 partitions getting created. Why? Because I am telling you create 2 threads or 2 partitions. Getting my point? Now in each partition, what are the numbers present? You can see to know that I have to use RDD.gloom.collect. Now you can see the first partition contains 1, 2, 3, 4. Second partition contains 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Getting my point? Any of 2 partitions it will be created. But what are those values present in that partition? That I can see by using the gloom function. Here number of partition I can get by using get number of partition. On top of RDD I am calling this partition function. Getting my point? Yeah. Now internal of job execution in Spark. By using Spark Submit, the user submits the application. In Spark Submit, the main running file specified by the user will be called. It also launches the driver program. The driver program asks to the resource to the cluster manager that is required to launch the executor. The cluster manager launches the executor on behalf of the driver program. The driver program runs with the help of the user application. Based on the action and transformation of the RDD, the driver sends work to executor in the form of task. The executor processes the task and the result is sent back to the driver through cluster manager. Guys, see, try to understand the internal architecture of the job submission of the Spark. So as we know in our previous class, whenever I submitted a job, it is split into different stages. Each stages is split into different tasks. And each task will assign to the worker node, or we'll call it as a data node or slave node, inside which the actual container is present. So those tasks will go and run inside the container only. Now, inside worker node, what are the other things are present? Sir, application master is present. Then we have something called container. We have cache memory and all. Now, whenever I submit a Spark application, what will happen? As you know, driver program is the heart of the Spark execution, Spark program. Now, driver program is responsible to instantiate the Spark context. That means the object will be created, right? And it will give the input signal, or I can say request to the cluster manager. That is nothing but the part of YAN architecture. Now, cluster manager or resource manager will try to connect with the node manager which resides inside the worker node. And every 10-second interval, it will send the heartbeat signal, whether that particular worker node is up and running fine or not. If it's not getting the heartbeat signal in every 10 interval of time, then it considers that particular worker node is not working. Then what will do? What are the tasks you have assigned to that worker node? It will just take the replica of the task and assign to another worker node which is readily available in ideal state. Are you getting my point? So all the job will be run parallel. That's why the efficiency will be more in Spark compared to MapReduce. Now, once it completes the task, it will give the response. Resource manager node manager. From node manager, it will go to the resource manager. Then from resource manager, it will go to the driver program. And obviously, it will show the output in the edge node or the client node as part of the screen, or the output display the output in the screen. Getting my point? That's all about the internal of job execution in Spark. Guys, thank you so much. Have a nice day. With this, we are completed each and every operation that we can implement on top of the RDD. That is called transformation and action. And in a previous class also, we have already discussed extensively what are the different transformations are there. That is narrow transformation and wide transformation. Unless and until all the transformation got completed, it's execution, action won't execute. That's why it's called lazy evaluation. Okay, we have completed everything in depth. You just need a practice, one-time practice. Okay, please do practice, rock up. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.